Namaskar. Hi, I'm Gargi, and thank you all very much for supporting my previous video, Why Secular Hindus Have a Problem with Ram. It's really overwhelming response that I got so much of support and share. Thank you again. We all have seen the Bhumi Pujan, yes. We all have seen the Bhumi Pujan, which has been celebrated with much pomp and grandeur. And ever since then, there has been a lot of debate in social media. Intellectuals are saying that God does not require so much pomp and grandeur. This is nothing but triumphalism of the ruling party. God is in the heart of the poor. Yes, God is omnipresent. We all know that. But then why do we need temples or mosques or churches? Why do we go there? But they will never say anything about a Mecca, Medina or Vatican. But it comes with temples, then they will say ki so much of pomp and grandeur. See, when we go to temples, yes, there is a positive feeling. There's a very much positive feeling. And why temple? Any place of worship you go, there is a positive feeling. The atmosphere is very positive. And one more thing, we bask in the feeling of a shared identity. It is that shared identity what Durkheim is a great sociologist, he called it the collective effervescence. And what is collective effervescence? Collective effervescence is when as a community, as a society, we come together. And that is very important for us human beings, because we are social beings, right? And see, our temples. Are our temples only temples, especially the ancient Indian temples? They are not only temples, they are embodiment of history. Till now we have temples which are thousands of years old. And look at the architecture, look at the carving. We can't recreate them now. See the 13th century Konark Sun Temple or the 8th century Martan Sun Temple in Kashmir, which lies neglected in South Kashmir now. Or all the temples of South India, such great temples. The Virupaksha temple of Hampi, the Meenakshi temple of Madurai, the Padmanabha temple of Thiruvananthapuram, all of them are a marvelous testament to the architectural achievement of a glorious past. Yes. And we know so many temples of ours have been destroyed. Our temples have been destroyed along with our seats of learning like Nalanda. Nalanda was built in 5th century and it survived and it flourished for 7 centuries before it was destroyed in 12th century by Bakhtiyar Khilji. So much of learning, so many manuscripts were lost. But the temples which survived years of invasion and which stood the test of time, what are they? When we look at them, we can learn so much of architecture, science and mathematics from those temples. So they are not temples. They are history frozen in time. Can we deny that? And see, when excavations happened, Archaeological Survey of India found out ruins of Hindu temple below the Babri Masjid. Mr. K.K. Muhammad, who was part of Archaeological Survey of India, he gave testimony about that. And this evidence was a very strong reason for the unanimous judgment that the Supreme Court gave. Right? See, we Hindus, we have never invaded others' lands. We have never destroyed others' places of worship. In fact, we have never tried to reclaim our history. But this was the first time, this Ram Janmabhoomi movement was the first time when Hindus tried to reclaim their history. And on 5th August 2020, they have reclaimed their history. It has been a victory in a war of civilization. So of course it calls for pomp and grandeur. Even if the left calls it pomp and grandeur, it calls for that. It calls for celebration. And see, we all have seen it. We have heard the Prime Minister's speech also. I think, or rather people like me think, yes, the mood was electric, but it was not triumphant. Yes, that's what I wanted to share with you today in this small video. Thank you for watching, and if you like, please share, comment and subscribe to my channel. I really require your support. Thank you.